What's up YouTube, Capital G here, got some generator action for you guys to check out. Going to be one of the most improved archetypes of 2020 in my opinion. I'm sold on the archetype so much I've pretty much bought all the cards, and it's really because of the support that the deck is getting in Eternity Code. It makes the deck so much more consistent, especially with Lopter, and also, you know, they got a nice little piece of support in Ignition Assault as well. Anyways, let's go ahead and roll this, and this is actually kind of like a god hand opening. Not every card is going to be good in generators. I don't think you want to draw any of the level 9 monsters honestly, but if you're able to open up with like Condemned Maiden and something like Terraforming, because you basically always need to have access to Generator Stage, the field spell, it is so much freaking advantage. For those of you who don't know, what you can do is you can normal summon your Condemned Maiden. That can add Forbidden Chalice from your deck to your hand, so it's a free +1. And you know, Forbidden Chalice is it's still a really good card in the Vrains era. You just use it against one of your opponent's important monsters, and you just kind of negate that monster, whether it be a Galatea or like a Sky Striker, a Link monster. Just get a free negation, kind of like an impermanence in that sense. But during your opponent's turn, you can also tribute the Condemned Maiden, and that turns into Lopter. So it's actually really nice. So you can see right here, he activated the Generator Stage. His opponent drew a card. That means he gets to summon Horror from the deck. And then he's also, after his opponent plays a card, he'll be able to use the Condemned Maiden or Condemned Witch, excuse me. He'll be able to tribute her and then be able to get Lopter, and then Lopter can tribute one of the tokens and it can get another generator monster. So essentially, just off 2 cards, you're able to get your full generator board set up, where you're not only going to have Horror, which, you know, is an Infernity barrier, but then you also have Utgard, which can banish any card on your opponent's side of the field, and you also will have the Forbidden Chalice, which you got turn 1 as just a free disruption. So it's like triple disruption essentially off of 2 cards. So it's actually kind of like nuts. Now his opponent is going to get him to use that Ash Blossom by using the copy of Servant. I probably just would have given up my tokens and I would have banished. I probably would have used Utgard to just banish it, and you know, you'd have had to prove that you still have more spells, but he decides to go for the Ash Blossom. I guess to each its own. He's going to negate Reasoning with Horror. I don't get that. I don't really, like, I've never seen Reasoning in Pendulum, so I wouldn't really be afraid of it, but whatever. I believe he is going to ultimately try to activate the copy of Servant, the other one, and that will bring out the Utgard, which means it's going to get banished. And he did use the World Legacy Burgeoning as well to pull more generator monsters from the deck, so there you might even see a rank 9 if his opponent doesn't scoop it up. We'll see what Pot of Desires is going to get. Okay, gets him a couple of cards. He did end up losing a monster from his hand. He had to discard the Curtain Riser because he did use that Dark Law effect of the generator, the Horror generator monster. Yeah, if your opponent draws cards or adds anytime outside of the draw phase, you just get to snipe a monster from their hand or their field. I believe he is ultimately going to get to Electromite, which seems really good, but we know that Pendulum decks, if they don't really resolve Electromite, they're not honestly doing all that much. He will activate the Zombie Chick, who has basically a Monster Reborn type effect. And when he summons the Heavy Metaphors Electromite, he's met with that copy of the Forbidden Chalice and he scoops it up. See, this is why getting a free Forbidden Chalice is like so lovely, because you can kind of just wait until your opponent has a key monster effect, especially these decks that you know, they're kind of predicated on going for one special summon monster like from the extra deck. You can just kind of hit it with that Forbidden Chalice. And there you go. You can get pretty easy combos with generators that only require like 2 cards, and you basically can get triple disruption against your opponent, which I think is actually really solid. Opening 2 cards and getting 3 disruptions against your opponent seems very, very strong. So this is what the build of generators looks like on paper, and it's definitely an interesting take on generators. I didn't even really know about Condemned Witch because I'm not running it in my build, but this is a card that I'm looking at and I'm like, I'm definitely going to test this one. This one might end up in my build because, as I said before, it is just such a strong normal summon. Mainly, if you're able to open up with Condemned Witch and the Generator Stage, it's basically 3 disruptions against your opponent, and you kind of end with like 2 huge boss monsters. You get so much field control. You're able to just search out the Chalice as your +1, and then you can trade the Witch for Lopter when you resolve Generator Stage. You're also able to tribute like one of your tokens with Lopter, and then get another Generator critter boss monster on your field. Lopter cranks up all their defenses and attacks by 1,000 as well. It's so much disruption. And by the way, I'm not even counting the Dark Law effect of horror, so it could be potentially 4 disruptions against your opponent for just 2 cards. Like it's incredibly strong. Anyways, if you guys are interested in the deck, it of course will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.